Hello guys, welcome to the second video tutorial on C programming for beginners. In the last video I have shown you how you can download code blocks, which is a C++ IDE in which we are going to develop our C code, and we are going to compile and run and test our code using this code blocks. Now in this video I'm going to show you how you can create your first C program and what is the program structure of this C program. So let's get started. First of all, open your code blocks and then go to File, and to create a new program you just need to go to New, and then here you can go to the project. So go to Project, and in here you can find few options, but the option we are interested in is console applications. So select this option called console application and click go, and then it will show some message. You can read this and you can click next, and now we are going to create a C program. So make sure that this C is selected here and click next, and in here you need to give the name to your project. So for example, I want to give name to my project as my prog. Okay, so this is the name of the project. What name of the project depends upon you. Whatever name you want to give, you can give it to the project. And by browsing this you can change the directory in which you want to save your program. So I will leave it as default, but you can change it, and just note this path so that you can see the source file if you want to see. Okay, and click next, and this is generally showing the basic information about your project, that it's going to use GNU GCC compiler, which we are going to use to compile our application. And it's going to create two versions of your project. One is called debug and other is called release. For now it's not necessary to know all these things because we are beginners, right? So just click finish, and when you click finish you will not see anything on this window, but on the right hand or left hand side on the project tab, make sure it's project tab, you will be able to see a project name which is given by you, and a folder called source, and inside this folder there is a file called main.c, right? And once you click this file main.c, you will be able to see the hello world program here. Now you can press Ctrl and scroll your mouse to make your code, font size bigger or smaller. So in order to make it bigger, just press your Ctrl and scroll your mouse. Okay, so I'm making it a little bit larger so that you can see, and this is the basic structure of the program, and it's called hello world program. It's automatically created by code blocks for us. So let's see, we will go line by line and let's see what this code means. So the first line or rather first two lines, which start from this hash symbol, are called preprocessor command. There are other preprocessor command also, but these are the very most basic preprocessor command. And a preprocessor command includes a header file into your project. So whenever you create a C program, there is already some files which we need to include in our project in order to write a program. and this preprocessor command, which is this hash include, includes the file name which you give here. And these are the most important files which we need to create a simple program. And the first file is called stdio, which stands for standard input output, and this file is responsible for taking the input or printing outputs like this printf, which I'm going to describe you in a moment. So this function also I will explain you in a moment, but this is due to inclusion of this file. Now there is a file called stdlib, which is this file, and this file also we need to include, because main, whenever you write a C program and whenever you compile and try to run this program, your compiler, or whenever you run your program, your compiler sees the main function or searches for the main function in your project, and this is like an entry point to your program. So this main is the part of standardlib.h. So these are called preprocessor compiler. Now this int main is a function, and it's a very basic function, and it's a built-in function which every program must have. And by this main, C++ knows that it is the entry point of your program. So every project must have at least and only one main function. And what is a function? Function is a piece of code which you can execute. For now, you just need to know about this. A function is a piece of code which you need to execute some piece of code. Okay, and the most basic function is main, and most important also function is main. Now function has 2 or 3 basic things. One is a return type, which is int. Int stands for integer. So this is int. Int is a data type which stands for integer, and this main is the name of the function, which is by default you have to give in small letters. And this bracket takes an argument, and for now we are not passing any argument, so it's empty. So every program must have this main function, and because we are returning integer, we need to end our program with return 0. Return 0 is just like a success for your main program. So for now you just need to know that if you return 0 and if you reach till this point, your program has run successfully. Okay, now printf. This printf is a part of standard.io.h file. So there is a function in this file called printf, and this printf helps us to print a string on the terminal. Okay, so this is a printf, and inside this bracket, whatever you write inside this printf in double quotes. So always remember, you need to write in double quote inside the brackets. Whatever you write, it will be printed on the terminal. So for now you are writing hello world, so it will be printed on the terminal. Now this \n changes the line, which I'm going to demonstrate in a moment. So this will not be printed, but this is a special string or character which will help you to change the line of your print. Now every line ends with this semicolon. So this semicolon tells C that this line of code is ending here, and from the next line we are going to write another line of code. Okay, and every function is started with these opening and closing curly braces. Okay, so this is the basic structure of a C program. Now once you have understood, you can see every line is starting or ending with the semicolon, and it's not necessary that you need to give this kind of indentation. You can, you know, write a line of code here or like this, or, you know, position doesn't you know, it's not important. You can give 2-line gap between two codes, or, you know, 2 lines of code, or whatever. But in order to you know, show or make your program presentable, there is a, you know, design of a code which is best looking. So this, in this way, your program looks good. That's why we write it like this. Now in order to run your program, you need to compile your program. And in the last video I have shown you, or I have told you, what is compilation. Compilation helps your programs to convert this program into the machine language which your machine can understand. This is the code which is readable by human, but it's not understandable by the computer. So compiler will help us to convert this code, which is human readable, to convert it into machine readable code. And how you can compile your code? There are 3 buttons in code blocks, which is this one: build, run, and build and run at the same time. So to build your program, build means compile. Compile and builds are same. So whenever you click this build, it will compile your program. Now there is one tab here, and this tab also has this option called build, run and build. So you can go here also and build your program. Now in order to build your program, you always need to save your program first. So always click this save icon, so to make sure that your program is saved, and then click this build button. And this, whenever you click this build button, the output of your compilation will be shown in this build log. And if you don't see any error here, you see here 0 errors, 0 warnings, and this means that our program contains 0 errors and 0 warnings. So compiler also helps us to check whether our program is or we have written our program correct or not. Okay, now once your program is compiled successfully with 0 errors, you can run your program with this green button. Just click this button, and now our program is running, and it prints hello world. And then it prints something which doesn't interest us. It's just thrown by you know, terminal. So this is what we are printing, and it's just saying that press any key to continue, and whenever we press any key, this terminal will go. So this means our program is running successfully. Now if you want to build and run your program at the same time, you can just click this button, and this button, build and run, will build your program also and run your program. So when I click this, it will build and run my program at the same time. Now whenever you do some mistakes in writing your code, your compiler will give an error. So for example, by mistake I left some unknown characters here after my printf function here, and after the semicolon is unknown to the C compiler. So whenever we save our program and compile it, this will give us compilation error. You see error, and it's showing expected semicolon before a return, right? And it's not, we haven't given semicolon here, so it's giving us the error. We added semicolon, but still it's unknown to your C program. So once again I compile it, and it will still give us error because it says error, this word is undeclared, right? So whenever you write a code which is unknown to C, it will give you the error and this red mark where or from where, which line this error is coming from. So in this way you can check whether you have written the correct program or not. So this is to check also. You compile a program to check whether you have written something good, or you have written something which is correct, and to convert your program into the machine language. And this, to run the program, you just click this button and it will run the program. So this is how the C structure of program looks like, and this is how it works. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.